It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, we are going to take a look at the bottom of a blue bin. Maybe not the bottom, we'll see. But there is something in a blue bin somewhere that I need to find in order to keep going. And going forward is top of my list. I did see a comment up at the beginning here made by Corey. And, and it keeps... not that one. Well, hello, Digger, but that's not the one this one. Did I click it? Yeah. Wonder what the banana on the bottom of the full toad is going to look like. I am afraid if we actually find a banana down there, I am going to be very, very frightened. And I hope I don't find a banana at the bottom of the toad. But I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee anything. So I do also have this package over here. I don't know if anybody can guess where it came from based on what is written on the outside of the box, but I've got that to open. Boy, I've got a mess of stuff. So I brought up I brought up some more stuff because I'm at that point where I need to start like going through the bins where I've hid stuff. And now I've like reburied myself where I don't know that I can, it's become a little difficult to work again. So tonight, the goal is find the power supply in the blue bin. I don't know if we can see, no, we can't see the blue bin. The blue bin's right here. So we'll get in there. We'll find the power supply for the command station. Maybe we'll plug it in and we'll turn the command station on. We'll see maybe if we can connect the command station to the computer. We'll open the box. I don't... This is either going to be a 5-minute show or a 4-hour show, depending on how things progress today. I did do some more changes with the stream, but I'm glad to hear at least it looks like whatever I'm doing isn't echoing again today, because that was a thing from last time. This just echo that happened, and couldn't figure out for a while where it was coming from, but I did figure it out, got it taken care of, and we're all good to go. Yep, 100% always at the bottom of the last bin, or something I found as well is it's not so much that it's the bottom of the last bin, it's that the place that you think it absolutely isn't, and that there is no way it could possibly be in that spot, and that's the last place you check because you think to yourself, there is no way it can be at the bottom of that pit. But it ends up that is exactly where it is in that last place that you've looked. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing with that. But somebody asked me, I forget who, I apologize. Somebody asked me if I figured out what the echo was. I did. It is the interface that I have has some settings and some voice settings and stuff, and you can change the different voice settings to do different things, and for whatever reason the echo got triggered, and then everything I was saying had an echo. So that's solved. We can now move on with the rest of the world. So a little bit of a progress check. I don't remember. I posted some photos. I can't even remember what I showed at the end of the last video. So I did get some stuff done though. My 3 pieces of bench top are up over here, kind of out of the way right now, while I'm trying to figure out and get some of this testing done. I did paint the water blue. I painted a road. I don't know. I think I took some pictures of this. The road over here has got this kind of black line through it, just to give me a little bit of a sense of how things are going. But the main thing that I have been working on is the thing I need to test, right? So I've got this idea, and the idea is basically this. Let's get that out of the way. We don't need that there. This is the idea. I know what a lot of people are going to tell me. Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. That's overkill. Stop doing that. You know, why are you wasting your time and all that good stuff? Oh, that's not what I want. Sorry, I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I'm trying to move this over. What did I tell you? New setup, right? Things are just going oh so well. Well, anyway, come on. Cooperate. There we go. So I've got a bunch of detection zones. I've got switch motor feedback. I got all, see, I agree. There's no such thing as overkill, but people will tell me it would. Open the box so I can watch live. Are you talking about this box? Cameron, do you know who this box came from? Is there any clue on the box where it may have come from? I feel like there should be more flashy lights. I haven't set up lights yet under the layout. There will be lights under the layout, but the lights under the layout are not going to be flashy. They are just going to be white LEDs. They're going to be on off. So when I'm doing work underneath, they just flip on and flip off. Joey, I do as well, but it's the part of the hobby that I enjoy. I was thinking right before the show started that maybe what I need to do is, just like how I have my my super chat button, I might want to create a button that is that pops up this thing that says Model Railroad rule number 1. It's my layout, or something like that, just so that like when people in the chat start like giving me a really hard time about like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Actually, if people would say, why are you doing this? I would probably be okay. It's the people that say you're doing that wrong, is where it gets a little, anyway. Why don't we, before we talk about this is what I've been up to. This is one of two that I have built. This is the one with the command station. The little red box on the left that's got an apple on it is the computer I'm going to use for JMRI. It's a 2014 Mac Mini, so you don't need anything new. Something old works fine. But what I have to do before I move past this point is I have to test that the theories that I have written down on paper in here are going to work over here. I don't know why that's scary. It's actually quite simple. Corey, the layout has a server in the sense that that Mac Mini there is going to be running JMRI. It's going to be running Mosquito. I don't know that it's going to run anything else except for those two things. So in essence, that is kind of the layout server. I do also have Synology NASs that store all of my files and everything. So that's I just realized I should take a moment before we open the package. Hold on. Where is it? Let's see. Nope, I don't want that one. Let's try and grab one of these. We are going to, I don't know why I didn't know why I didn't think to do this earlier, but so Derek, give me 2 minutes and then make this same comment again. So Joey, here's what we're gonna do to quote unquote fix. And of course I can't. I thought this was gonna be a quick fix, and now I can't get the thing off the thing. Come on. I know you guys are all, it's like I'm opening a box. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to do it nice and clean, right? So it sticks nicely. We are going to brand it appropriately. There we go. Okay, so what was Derek asking? Heath, you've used the wrong color of the wires. So I actually spent some time because yeah, I'm a little nuts. Figuring out my wire colors. Oh, no, it's crooked. I'm sure, I am 99% sure that it is crooked. Oh, sorry, I can't remember where I'm at. Scroll down. Okay, so I created a wire color chart for my layout. I did this before I did any of the wiring. Oh, other way, this way. Oh. See, I'm trying to, there we go. Now let's slide this over. There we go. So wire color and sizes, I've figured this all out. My DCC bus line is red and black. Red is going to be number 1, black is going to be number 2. I specifically call that out, the black basically being the common wire. Some of the devices that I have, though, refer to them as 1 and 2, and some refer to them as common and other or whatever. I just saw Roy's comment. So we're going to use red and black, 14 gauge stranded for the bus line. The feeders are going to be red and black. The red will be my detection side. The black is just going to be the common side and won't be split. 22 AWG solid core wire. The green wires is going to be the frog wire. Switch motor feedback is going to be blue and white, which is another very common color in model railroading, but not what I'm using for my main colors. So, Switch motor feedback, I will probably also do my signaling in blue and white, although I haven't quite gotten that far yet. I'm going to have a 5-volt bus around the layout and a 12-volt bus around the layout. Those are not passenger buses, they are power buses. The 5-volt bus will do things like run the cameras and run anything that needs 5 volts, basically, right? So the 12-volt bus can be things like lighting and various stuff like that. So we'll have a 5-volt and a 12-volt bus around the layout. We'll have a DCC bus around the layout. So I've kind of laid out all of the colors. Heath, do you sell those? What do you what do you mean sell what? So Dennis, it's funny you say that because I've been thinking about you lately with all of your spreadsheets. Dennis spreadsheeted out like, okay, I need to work on this area, and in this area, I need to use X, Y, and Z all the way down the list. And I haven't quite gotten to that point yet, but I became very close over this last week to do that. So I might get there. So I'm trying to get there. So why solid and not stranded? So I'm going to use stranded wire for the bus line because I want that to be somewhat flexible, and I want it to be basically kind of flexible and that kind of stuff. The reason that I'm using solid wire everywhere else is because a lot of the different things that you're going to land on, for example, like the DCC Concepts motor, the ports that you're going to slide into there, all of like, like this kind of stuff, these kind of bus bar things, these kind of things as well. In my experience, and I think some others too, the solid wire just holds better. When you go to crimp a stranded wire, the strands kind of move out of the way, and you can sometimes break strands, whereas with solid core, you know it's solid. The other reason I'm going to use solid core is because I personally find solid core easier to solder. So all of my feeders are going to be solid core, and that way I can more easily solder them to all of the track. The shorter runs don't move as much. There's a lot of different reasons, but yeah, I have thought it out somewhat. I made the mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake. I got some thermostat wire. Jimmy from DIY recommends considering using some thermostat wire because you can buy thermostat wire in like an 8-strand 18 gauge or whatever, or 22 gauge thermostat wire. So you can run the wire out in like a single cable that's got 8 strands in it. And that was solid core. And I just had a really hard time working with it. So I get these rolls of, I get them off Amazon. It's copper wire. It's 100 feet of 22 AWG solid core. And it comes in like, here's blue and white, and here's brown, and here's green, and red and black are in here, and there's all these colors everywhere. So yes, you could use a ferrule on stranded wires to put them in the screw terminals, and if you are going to use stranded wire, I would get ferrules and put them and use them. I didn't want to deal with ferrules. I just didn't want. I know that it is something you can do. It's just not something I wanted to deal with. You can use telephone cable. Telephone cable tends to be 24 gauge, so it's even thinner than this 22. And I was using telephone wire for the frog wires, and It worked, but I found it kind of difficult to use. Thermostat wire is very, very stiff wire. Very stiff wire. Yeah, doorbell wire works well. Just make sure you're using the right gauge wire. N scale layout, the distance that I'm running things, I probably don't need to use 22 gauge wire. I could probably get away with 28 gauge wire, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, stranded wire can be a little interesting. It's what I'm using. Yeah, so 14 for the bus wire, and then 22 for everything else. Although right now, I have to admit, right now, I didn't have 14 gauge wire when I made this. So this run here is 16, and these two runs here are 16. Am I going to swap them? I don't know. The reason you use 14 is because low voltage over distance to reduce your voltage drop. I'm not going to have any voltage drop at that distance with 16 gauge wire. So, you know, I don't know. Agree, terminal block screws tend to chew up stranded wire if you don't put a ferrule on the end. Exactly. And when you're under the layout and you're cutting and re-terminating wires and trying to clean stuff up, to not have to go find a ferrule can be good. But, you know, some people like Mike like them. And they're absolute advantage to use them. And yes, solid wire, if you bend it back and forth, can break, which, you know, might make it a little harder to follow or to find the issue. But if I can find it, so I brought more stuff up. So I've got a lot of stuff over here right now. Here, just so you can see, I'm kind of burying myself in the room right now. I brought up 3 more of these rolling bins, and this is the bin we're going to go through in a second. But if you don't have and are not familiar with this, I live with this. When I wired up this guy over here, number 2 on the right side, what is number 2 over there, it wasn't working. I didn't know why. It could have taken me hours to figure out why it wasn't working. Grab the old multimeter, set it on continuity. Very simple fix. Or it ended up being a very simple fix. It was human error, but yeah. My room is 12 by 12, so a lot of that you're doing explains a huge help. I'm glad that works. Now, just to be clear, this might not be correct. This is the way I'm doing it for my situation. I trust my abilities to make the right decisions for my scenario. If you are, if you're not as sure of this type of stuff, it doesn't hurt, you know, to get other opinions. So standard practice is the DCC wiring for N scale, depending on the chart you use, does say 14 for bus lines and 22 for 14 and 22 for feeders, depending on how big your layout is. Some say 16 gauge for bus lines for N scale. So you just got to make the decision of what's comfortable for you. Twisting your bus line. So they say you should twist your bus line. And the reason you want to twist your bus line is because it cancels out the electromagnetic interference of the wires, of the oscillating thing, I don't know, all this bullshit stuff. So what I bought for my bus line is this cable here. So it is it's 14-2. The 2 wires are in their own sleeve. This is not shielded. So should I twist my bus lines, and am I worried about it? I'm just seeing John. Absolutely, John. I completely understand. So this is what I'm going to use for my bus line. It's solid core. The bus line that I have, the way I am doing my bus line is essentially I am running the bus line from this board here, from this guy right here, to another board exactly like this, or not exactly like, similar to this board. And then I'll jump from that board to the next board. So I'm not splicing into my bus line along the way. All of my feeders are going to come land up here. Well, this is the current plan. I need to test all this, right? But all my feeders are going to come land up here, and my bus lines are going to jump from basically a thing like this to another thing like this. The question was, am I going to twist my bus line? Not any more than it's twisted in here. It's got a pretty big installation on it. It's not shielded, but I'm also not running very long distances. My main connection is there. It's going to run to another one that is about 10 feet away. And then I've got another booster on the other side that is going to feed two more of those things over here. So my max bus line runs are, 10 feet, 15 feet at the most. So I don't expect it to be an issue. And yes, the longer they are, the more issues that you might have. I do also have, and there's a lot of controversy about these, so we don't really need to get into the controversy of them, but I do want to share that I will be using these on my layout. There are a couple companies that make them, but these is a DCC Concepts Power Bus Spike Suppressor, and essentially what it is a big old resistor at the end of the line, and it helps take any of the noise. The theory is it helps take any of the noise out of the line. So if you're not twisting the lines, blah 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 blah, I'm gonna be fine. I have a small layout. I do have a lot of electronics on the layout, which is part of why I am doing these boards and setting things up the way I am. I will likely have more issues with my detection zones because some of those wires are too close together. Yeah, essentially it's a snubber. Mike says, I don't twist the wires either. Mike, you changed your name. But I did consider adding a snubber at the end of the bus. I did start the bus with a snubber built into my control system. I'll be building a new layout with only 5-foot buses. And that's it. My buses are short. They're going to jump, from here to here. Yeah, my staging's not 30 feet, right? My staging is 6 feet. So it's, what I am doing, again, is very specific to my layout, and I wouldn't say I would do things very differently if I did a larger layout. I would do similar things over further distances with probably just different gauge wire between each thing. So this layout is a little bit set up like DC, and I need to test to see if it's going to work. Because of the way I'm using the detection, I don't know how well it's going to work. And without going down a rabbit hole, because we do have some things to dive into, let's just take a minute and let me just explain what the different items are that I have here. On the very left that you can't really see because it's being covered up, unless I go over here and click this. So over here on the left, I've got a network switch. So the network cable comes in from across the room and goes into here. This network switch, one then goes to the computer, one goes to the streaming computer. The other one goes to this Mac Mini, which is going to be for JMRI and a Mosquito broker, an MQTT broker. And then it also goes to the command station. This is the command station I'm using. This is a DigiKeys DR5000 command station that has been upgraded to a yet another model railroad company YD7001. It's a very simple upgrade. It adds more features to the command station, and it gets me into kind of just a little bit newer level with some additional functionality. I am still using a bunch of DigiKeys devices. We'll just start here, the DR4088GND. This is for turnout position detection. So all of my turnouts have a single pull double throw switch on them that will feed back to this GND. That will then tell the computer running JMRI what position the switch is in. Over here is the DR4088CS, which is the current sensing box. So to do the current sensing with this, unlike a BD20, where you run the cable through the ferrule on the BD, or through the magnet on the BD20, this you're actually running it through the box. So what I did was all of the red wires are going through the detection box. All of the black wires go to this terminal block. So all of my black wire feeders go to the terminal block. All my red wire feeders are going to land across the top here. And what these are MQTT controlled, same as ESP home, but they're wirelessly controlled relays. So this is feeding my yard tracks. I can then turn off any of the yard tracks in my yard. Why would I want to turn a yard track on or off? Well, it might have a locomotive on it. It might have other things on it or whatever. It enables, it's for fun. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it. I'm doing it because I want to do it and because it's fun for me to figure out if I can make it work. So that's the plan. Well, I got to test it. That's why I got to get into this blue box, is so that I can find that power supply and turn this on and see if anything works. Thank you, Andrew, Mr. Pictovid, a longtime supporter and always hitting me up with a super chat, and much appreciated. Thank you so much, Andrew. I don't know why people are talking about the short bus. Seeing all this and hearing all the different components makes me wish Dead Rail and HO was a mainstream thing right now. Yeah, Dead Rail and HO, you can do it. I mean, the Bluenami is out there right now, which is definitely going to make it easier. But this is right now what I'm doing. This is the part of model railroading that I enjoy. And I get that a lot of people don't enjoy this part, but this is the part that that gets me excited. And yes, so all the yard tracks will turn on and off remotely based on logic. And what I saw somebody do that I thought was really brilliant is essentially a yard track you will be able to, if you want, to turn off a yard track or an engine track based on which way the switch is thrown. So if you're in your engine yard and you have a switch thrown against a track, there's no reason for that track to be on, especially on a small size layout like this. You're not going to have, extra stuff running. So there's no reason to have it on. So you could set it up where when the turnout throws, it'll kill the track power. Will MQTT railroads be on the 7001 network? The YD7001 will be on the same network as JMRI, connected via LocoNet, and the MQTT broker, I'm going to use Mosquito, is going to be on the same computer as JMRI. So through the JMRI interface, MQTT and the everything, it'll all be able to talk to each other. So blue bin or box? Blue bin. Let's get into the blue bin, because if I can find this power supply, it means I can get on this adventure. I hope this camera's been working better today. I adjusted some settings on it, which I think have been helping and making things a little bit better. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to do this. I hadn't updated in a while. I finally updated my thank you video. I added the new names of people that had recently joined, and I want to make sure that I give all of those people a shout out. So 52 seconds, I'm going to play my thank you video, and then we'll dive into this blue box and get into it.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
So Mike says, similar to Derek's comment on a booster in the center of the yard, my new layout with a booster on each module. When I built this layout, I thought a lot about it, and I thought, do I really need 2 boosters, or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever? The answer is no. I could run this whole layout off of 1 booster, but my thought was I could spend money on a circuit breaker, or I could spend money on a booster. Yes, the booster is a little bit more money than a circuit breaker, not ridiculously much, but having the booster versus just having a circuit breaker just gives me a little more flexibility. So I did actually decide to go with essentially 2 boosters. There's one in the command station, and then there's one additional one. I've got one on either side of the layout. So maybe we'll find out. Who knows? Here's the bin. So what I did when I was taking things apart is that this bin ended up kind of being a catch-all for a lot of the various power-based components on the layout. So I use on the layout, and this is something people were asking, like controlling JMRI and stuff. I've been talking to some of the JMRI developers. I don't know if it's been implemented yet, but this is a smart switch that can be controlled by Alexa, and there should be a way at this point that I need to follow up and check on that I will be able to control this smart switch through Alexa, through JMRI. So I can do a command in JMRI, and it will turn on and off the outlets on this. Here's another smart switch. Here are lever nuts. I love lever nuts. I don't know how many people use lever nuts. These are my favorite thing. We were talking earlier about a 5-volt bus. This is what I use for my 5-volt bus, are these Meanwell transformers. I like Meanwell stuff. These are there's a mix of everything in here. These are the lights for the Thunder and Lightning, the BLI Thunder and Lightning. I've got a terminal block with a lever nut glued to the end of it. I've got a webcam in here. So here's the power supply for the BLI Thunder, but I know the BLI Thunder's not in here. This is my old school switch panel. So my MQTT relay board is just going to replace all of these switches. Oh, interesting. Can MQTT send a signal to that? Oh, that'll be interesting if that'll happen. I've got some of these USB connectors. This was powering, I was using this to power some cameras. Here's a power supply. I've gotten a couple of these. They are adjustable power supplies, and I use these for various things. I don't know on this new layout, though, if I am going to use these or if I'm going to just get more Meanwell power supplies and go with that. Here's another glued together lever nut thing that I made. Here's some wire. People need wire. Here's a power cord. Here's a single plug. Here's an audio cable. I know why this is in here, but I'm kind of surprised this is in here. This here, I believe, is a power supply for some of the GoV lighting that I had on the layout, or this might be, I don't know. You see, I didn't label this. So I don't know what this is because I didn't label it. I should have labeled it like I did this, right? So here's a power supply that I labeled and it says layout accessories on it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's an exact representation, but it probably is close. I was hoping, man, I really didn't set this up. I really thought I would be able to dig in here and just find this. Here's the DR4050 power supplies. These are the power supplies for the DR4050 controller, which is DCC controlled LED lighting. Geez. Here is this is a little USB adapter that I got. I got this because this opto-isolates the power between two devices. There are some DCC devices that you can't have plugged into power at the same time that you have them plugged in to your computer, or they short out. So this little device in there opto-isolates the power so they don't blow things up. Oh, this is a fun one here. This is good. This is a power strip that has a relay input into it. So what I could do is hook this up to a DCC decoder, and then using a decoder address, it will alternate. So this is on and these are off, and then they switch based on the position of the relay. So this is how I was going to turn on and off certain things like the thunder and lightning and stuff like that. I was just going to plug them into here because there's no DCC way to turn them on and off. Someone just asked, this is why you need 2 half-full tubs. I do. So this is actually a half tub. There are other ones that are bigger, but I don't know. Look, here's all the lever nuts. More lever nuts. What is this? Another GoV. So this is for some LED lighting. Another power supply. Here's a mount for some grip stuff to mount stuff to the wall. I really thought I'd be able to find this faster. Here's an HDMI capture card from XR1. It's the XR1 Lite. Works pretty well. Here is my CalDigit TB3 Plus. It's a Thunderbolt. Boy, it's got to be in here. I mean, it doesn't have to be in here, but if it's not in here, I might cry a little bit. Ah, there it is. See, I knew it was in the last place I was going to look. There it is. The DR60710 something something something. This is the power supply for the DR5000. So, what was the DR5000? What's now the YD, whatever. It's a selectable. I don't know if you can see that. Selectable from 15 volts to 24 volts. I just run it at 15, which gives me about 14 volts on the track. But now that I found this, now that I found this, why don't we go back and open up that box, and if we get that box open and still have time, then maybe I will I'll plug this in. What did Jub say? Oh, you hiked up the MEC railroad track. That's pretty cool. That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, if I had two half full bins, they would just end up being two full bins. Yep, I always so this one has a selector switch. The new one I got is just the stock 15-volt one, and it won't change. So supposedly DCC spec requires that decoders can handle up to 22 volts. My understanding is that's irregardless of scale. So my understanding is the reason you're running the trains at 15 volts for N scale more has to do with older trains where you've done motor conversions and stuff than necessarily with newer ones. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We didn't find the banana though. That's we didn't find the banana. So let's get into this box though, right? Has anybody guessed yet where this box came from? All right, for anybody that thinks this box came from TSG Multimedia, it came from TSG Multimedia to somebody else, and then that somebody else sent it over to me. So that's why it says TSG Multimedia. It's not really from TSG Multimedia. It's really from somebody else. Yeah, Mike, they do have, they definitely do have scale-based recommendations, and I do plan to run it at 15 volts, which is, you know, gives me like 14.5 at the track or something like that. The banana could still be there. Could still be there. All right. So let's see what we're gonna find in here. I just realized as I plunged the knife into it that I may have just plunged it through something. I do know at least what one of the items in here is, or at least I hope I know what one of the items in here is. Hopefully it is an item that I asked for. It could be something different as well. Roy and John seem to think they know. Yeah, it drops at 14.8. I think I was getting a little less than that. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'm going to wire it in or not, but I do have an alpha meter. I'd like to wire it in. I think it's a good idea, but we'll see. Oh, yeah. Did you not ship it? If you don't know this box, if you hadn't figured it out yet, this box came from Mr. Cameron, Caboose 121. He was going to print up, 3D print something up for me. I don't know if he's actually done it or not, but we'll find out as we get into it, I guess. Oh, there is definitely already a lot more things in here than I was expecting. So I'm not really sure what's going on anymore. I think this was the item that I had requested, if I'm not mistaken. What I had requested was a flat car, and apparently I got two of them. Oh, he printed me both styles. Nice. So I've talked a little bit about IOTT and Hans, whose last name I'm completely, Hans Tanner, and what he, one of his developments was a purple hat for his M5, or not his, but for the M5 stick, and the purple hat will slot in here. It needs to have a hole in the thing because there is a Hall sensor that reads a magnet on the wheel. The wheel spins with the magnet on it, and then you can use the purple hat device with JMRI to create a to create a speed map, which you can then load into your locomotives. And by using this device on every locomotive that you own, you can speed match. Essentially, it's not completely automatically, but you automatically create the speed tables for every locomotive that you own, and then every locomotive that you own is going to run somewhat in sync. Dennis, were you not paying attention? I don't know what's going on. Do you have enough room for all the snails? What snails? So I was 99% sure it was in this box. I did not know where it was in the box, and it actually took long. I started getting a little nervous. Let's take a look at what these are. Oh, so these are box cabs. And I am guessing these are molded after the C&J box cab that used to run on the by the water or whatever. So Cameron, you're gonna have to tell me whether I can actually put a motor in this or how that's gonna work, because we're gonna have to paint these the proper green, because this is the wrong green. And then it looks like these are some looks like some older, maybe 36-foot cars of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what type of cars these are, but I am sure Mr. Cameron will give me some more information on some of this stuff. But these are cool, these little box cabs. I would love to have an N-scale box cab that actually runs on the layout. I don't know how I would fit a decoder in here, but that would be really cool to get that. Oh, my tortoises! I thought they were snails. These are cobalts. They're not snails. So that's why. Now I get it. Now I get it. An expedited box opening. I know. I'm trying. Honestly, in about 8 minutes or so, second section has their show. So I'm gonna duck out of here when they jump on, because I'd like to do that. With the way the box looks, I'm surprised you found it. Yeah. The small ones, you're on your own. The bigger ones, I sent the link in Discord for your drive. Oh, so these are meant to be self-powered also. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. And I'm assuming this one was cleaned out. I'm assuming that these, I just need to clean out what's inside them. Or do I make one powered and then these two are dummies that get pulled by the powered one? We'll talk. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Yeah, I have a ramp meter as well. I use it for troubleshooting as well. We have a way to get those drives in them. I hope so. I would like to. There is one more item here. Let's take a look and see what this is. Oh, look at that. There we go. A little, I think it's a 2-bay hopper, if I'm not mistaken. Cameron likes to think that he knows the colors on the layout. I will admit this is slightly the wrong color for the layout. I do actually have, though, in my bin here. Let's see if I can find one blind. Of course, I can't find one blind. It's up here. It's high. It's high up. Let's see. Nope. I'm grabbing all the wrong ones. Here we go. There we go. Cameron and I like to have this little debate. The color that I'm using is AF70, which is a dark green from Tamiya. But Cameron likes to say that Angel Green is the true Riverside color. So this is HCJ2 Riverside Transfer. Nice little hopper to go on the layout. I am very excited about getting custom painted cars for my layout, and to actually like see a train of Riverside Transfer cars on the layout. I think is really fun. I see chunks of plastic. Drive is $20 and can be decodered. Really? Z-scale decoder and motor build for those trucks. Yeah, I mean, I will figure out how to get a motor in this thing if there is one that fits, because that would be awesome. And that is cool too, that there is a drive that this is made to fit over as well. So that's really cool. So yeah, so all this came from Cameron Caboose 121. I believe all of this is 3D printed. This car is not 3D printed, but he did strip it, paint it, and decal it. So that will be a really nice addition to the layout as well. Ray, we're like children. He just ignores us by a while. Yeah, what are you guys saying now? Isn't that odd that he never yields for us? Yeah. I've gotten used to, every once in a while you just gotta ignore some people. Dennis from Otter Creek in Rio Grande, if you're paying attention, heads up. This is what I was looking for. It's the power supply for the command station. DN136D is the decoder. I've put some, I think some 136s or maybe some 132s. I'll have to, Cameron, I'm gonna have to hit you up like 20 times for you to remind me what I need. Anyone, why are you getting a headache trying to see what's on the table? Is it too far away? Is the camera, does the camera need to zoom in so that you can see what's there? I'm gonna see if I can zoom that camera in right now, or if I'm just gonna crash everything when I do it, which we could take a vote on whether I'm gonna crash things or not. I don't know. I'm not sure which camera that is, so I'm trying to figure that out as well. Laying track. So I want to get all the electronics in before I start laying track, and that means that I need. Ooh, John Tanzillo just posted a video called "Ballasting with Track Magic," which is what I might use. So I'm curious to see that. So for whatever reason, it can't find the GoPro that is currently on and currently working. It won't find it in the app. So based on how it's mounted, I definitely can't see it. So we'll have to leave it from there. Lift the bench work up to the camera. No, we won't. We are not gonna do that. There will be no lifting of bench work. If you want to see, this is the other one that I built. This is the smaller one over here. Let me get the camera back up. NDI cam. There it is. Here we go. So this is the smaller one that I made. This one has a lot of the functionality of the other one, but not all of the functionality of the other one. But we also need to test this one as well. Just like the other one, it has this is for turnout feedback, and this is for current detection or track detection. And then here's the booster. So this cable here goes back to the main command station, and it'll get over Locanet, it'll get its control signals. So I need to test decoders, I need to test feedback from turnouts, I need to test whether I can add LEDs or not. Are the relays going to trigger detection? All these things are things that I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, what's possible. But oh, you guys talking about putting the stream up on the TV? Yeah, I probably couldn't do it as I probably couldn't do it either. I would probably get in trouble as well. Oh, I missed it earlier. Mr. McTovid around 8:30 gifted Human City Junction memberships. That's That's pretty awesome. I apologize for missing that when that came through. Yeah. If anyone looks under my layout, they'd revoke my MMR, tear the pins off my vest, and break my uncoupling screw. This looks neat right now because most of the wiring's not done. And this is the beginning. This is the first this is the first go at it. It is very likely that by the time I get everything working that there are going to be wires and cables anywhere, but I am, in the meantime, I'm going to try and keep it as neat as possible. So I do know the second section, gentlemen, will be on later tonight. That is the link to their channel, so you can go take a look at their channel. Once I jump off of here, I will probably start plugging things in, hopefully not release the smoke, because it would be good to check to see that everything is working. But I've got plans. I've got a lot of plans. I just don't know if anything is going to work. And I guess that's the part of model railroading that I love. I love doing all this wiring, coming up with these ideas that are kind of out there, that are kind of ridiculous, that are kind of not necessary, but they're things that, I don't know, they make me happy. So there is that. And, I'm going to push forward and test things. And if things don't work, I'm going to post online and I'm going to say, hey, anybody's got an idea why this doesn't work? Some people will probably tell me, oh, that's impossible. When people tell me it's impossible, I will generally ask why about the first 16 times before I give up. I do have my fire extinguishers are ready to go, so I can happily plug things in with no worry of doing any damage. But please enjoy your night. Go check out second section podcast from the city that never sleeps. Farewell, model citizens.